What is up, my brewskis? It is Matcha coming at you with another random internet video for today. Honestly, I keep getting beaten by the copyright stick, and it is really bumming me out. So I'm gonna watch some fun internet videos to kind of make up for that. I'm going to be watching The Cost of Concordia. It's a video that was recommended by my boyfriend here, so I am very excited to watch this. But before we get started, we always have to turn our lights off to set the ambiance and get our projector here pulled up. I got a little bit of a new outfit here because honestly, I kind of wanted something more like a cardigan. And it's kind of there, kind of not. But honestly, I end up zoomed in for most of the reaction anyway, so I figure whatever. But we're gonna get started here in just a second. I hope you guys really like, and I'll see you.
The Costa Concordia, ship of dreams. It's been 8 years.
Oh no,
I can
not the
still
Titanic
smell
references
the buffets
already.
from their 5 restaurants.
What?
The casino and 3-story theater
This actual
had
footage?
hardly been used. The gym, the day spa, the sheets in her 1,500 luxurious cabins hadn't
Wait.
even been slept in. Costa Concordia cost $570 million to build. And
Good
you could
God.
tell.
That's like an unfathomable amount of money to me.
tell.
Like, I would hope all of that shit would cost that much though, because that is a ship. But they didn't put any of it in the safety though.
It was just a few years ago. We had left Civitavecchia, a port in Rome, and we were making our way to Savona. It was day 2 of our 7-day journey. But
Okay.
that ship, she was cursed.
Oh my god.
Oh no!
When she premiered, the traditional bottle of champagne bounced right off the side instead of smashing.
That was your
A
first
bad
hint.
omen.
Y'all should.
But I'm not
Yeah,
the
no.
superstitious type.
Mm-mm.
Nothing could go
No,
wrong
not the
on
latter.
Friday the 13th of January 2012 on
No.
the 100th year anniversary of the Titanic, on a ship that's also only safety rated for 2 compartments.
Oh my god. Yo,
Especially-
I've actually seen that little scale model of that shit. Oh my god. When my boyfriend and I say recently, this is like last year. But we went to a literal like a Titanic tour thing that you could walk through. It's one of those, I don't know, just one of those art museum things that you can walk through that moves around and everything. I forget the actual name of it. But there was so much stuff in there. Oh my god. And it was a really great experience. I actually really love it. And I kind of want to do it again. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, like they had that model. That's so funny. But they also had like little iPads and stuff where iPads, I think they were iPads. They were touchscreens, whatever. They were touchscreen monitors that they had where they had just all these pictures from like the crew and just like building of the ship and like seeing people actually like in size difference to the ship was insane. It was such a great tour. I love that. I'll probably make so many references to it throughout this video, honestly.
Not when you have a 5-star max level captain like Francisco Scatino, a man who
Oh.
mysteriously rose from head of security to the position of captain within just a couple of years.
He knows exactly
President
what to do
Snow-ass
in case of
captain.
an emergency.
For example, when he caused this emergency in 2008 when he crashed into a port in Sicily. And in 2010,
They
in
let this
Vernon,
man
Germany,
continue to
when he was steering
drive?
a different ship and came into port too fast and caused another collision. I've got a good feeling about it.
Let this man continue to have a license. My God, why? What boating license do you need? What kind of qualifications do you need to actually? I don't actually know anything about running a ship. What kind of licenses and like school do you go to school? I assume you go to school for that. I assume it's like a pilot, right? I would assume it's kind of under the same, at least umbrella. Like that's what I would assume, anyways.
this. So let's set the scene. It's a beautiful evening.
Not
People are having
2012.
fun on the slides, drinks at the bar. Antonio Magnotta is playing piano at the restaurant.
That bar just makes me
Martin
think
the
of The
Magician
Shining.
is setting up for his show. And the ship is setting up for a little detour. It's called a sail by salute. Basically, you get real close to the shore and honk the horn. The locals hate it, but the customers love
Yeah,
it, and
I
it's a
would.
tradition. Scatino, the captain, comes into the dining
Can
hall
you
with
guys
the lady.
pick a different
Dominica
tradition that's
Samorton.
less being a dick?
Remember this face, because you'll be seeing a lot of it later. Scatino eats his dinner with her and socializes for a little while. Then he, Dominica, and the maitre d' finish
But
up
the actual
and excuse
footage is, like,
themselves.
crazy.
They're heading to the bridge. It's time for that sail-by salute. This time,
Oh.
they're going to get closer than ever. Just
Oh.
1,500 feet from the island of Giglio. And how are they going to determine this distance? Well, of course, the captain is going to eyeball it. Apparently, it's not an uncommon thing to do.
Who let this
Scatino
man
turns
have
to the
a
flight
license?
His helmsman, Jacob Russell.
Why are you animated like a Snapchat
First interesting tidbit.
fucking
Costa Crociere has hired
3D
Jacob
avatar?
from Indonesia at a rock-bottom price, and he's a bit of a newbie to the job. In fact, his profession hitherto, a painter and a cleaner. It's his first time steering a massive ship, and he's very excited. At least, we think
Why?
he is. It's hard
Why?
to tell because
Why?
he doesn't speak English or Italian very well at all. Off to
Oh.
a good start. The second in command orders the helmsman to 290. Now, don't be confused by these numbers, they're just the degrees on a compass. At the same time, the captain whips out his cell phone and calls
Oh, no.
former captain Mario Palombo, who lives on the island. They chat about the safe distance to Giglio's shores. It's all very casual. Anyway, Mario says that the safe distance is between
The
0.3
Animal
and
Crossing.
0.4 miles from shore. The captain is going all in. This is not his first sail-by salute, so he's confident in what he's doing. We're going
You should
closer
not
than
be.
we've ever been before.
You should not have that amount of
The
confidence.
captain's eyeballing it again.
After crashing two
Hmm.
ships.
New heading of 300, he tells the helmsman.
Why?
Downstairs, Martin is about to cut
Why?
his assistant in half. And of course, that means
No.
that there's already a lady inside this box. She's waiting for the cue,
I hope this
and
is
then
fake.
she'll poke her
Please
legs
tell me
out.
it's fake.
The
There's a
captain is
name.
giving more orders. Pulling gently to 310. Increase
Why?
speed to 16 knots.
Why?
Going this fast.
Why would
is
you
going to
speed
be a
up if you're getting
fatal error.
closer?
But before we talk about that, let's talk
would
about
wanna
another
slow
big
down.
problem. Language barrier. Because at this point, the captain says 325, but the helmsman relays 315. So the first
good
officer
Lord.
intervenes, and he goes, no, 335, which is also
No.
wrong.
Oh
and then
my
the captain
God.
clarifies, no, 325. The helmsman confirms 325. Their poor communication has them moving at a much wider
Oh my
angle
God.
than they think
Yeah,
they
you
are.
think? And
However,
speeding
the
up
captain
like
should
morons.
and would know this, except for the next problem: complacency about procedure. The standard
my
procedure
God.
of a ship this large is for the third officer to give exact positional coordinates every
God, it's literally just like a perfect storm of a mess, just like what they were talking about with the Titanic during this tour. Like, like they were talking about how, yeah, like the safety precautions like hadn't been done properly. There weren't enough boats for all the people that were going to be on the ship. And actually, the Titanic is the one who actually I think introduced those safety measures because of everything that happened with that. Like it's like specific stuff is required now because of that. The binoculars were just left off of the ship. So the lookouts on the Titanic didn't have binoculars because they were just left off. I was like, "Yeah, excuse me, what do you mean they just left them off?" And then on top of that, the oh my God, what was it? I can't remember which person this was, but it was someone who was supposed to be watching for the signals to get the signals so they know how to go around the goddamn iceberg. But he, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, was on a personal phone call. Like, was on a phone call, which is why they weren't receiving the signals, telling them and warning them from the other ships that had already seen the beginnings of the iceberg. The Titanic literally, like, I can't remember all of the details, but it literally was the perfect storm, and that's immediately what this is actually reminding me of, which is, I mean, obviously the point, but still. Oh my God.
time the captain gives a new directional order. But they're not doing that. 330, he says. The helmsman relays 330. The ship
I'm just gonna be
reaches 16
stressed this
knots.
whole video.
The captain then turns to the second officer and instructs him to go to the left wing. That's these things here, and they basically exist so you can get a better view over the whole vessel. A few seconds pass, and then the mood starts to turn. Scatino notices white foam of waves breaking against the rocks directly in
Yeah,
front of
because
him.
you went
in the
too
distance.
close.
The Costa Concordia
Oh my God.
right now is almost 700 meters closer to the rocks than it should be. Without deviation, there is going to be a direct
Rocks were actually
collision.
underwater.
Oh, shit!
Scatino immediately commands the ship to start turning away.
Oh my
335.
God, they're so
Not
stupid.
enough.
This is
The captain
killing
shouts,
me.
340. The captain yells, 350. Now, remember how I said that accelerating to 16 knots
Yeah,
was a
shouldn't you
fatal error?
slow down?
Well,
I feel
that's
like the
because
first
it's
thing
made
you should
this
do would be
ship
to slow down.
incapable of such a drastic turn. What they've got is understeer. Here's an example.
The front end is not working.
God.
You're turning, and you're just going straight. You want to go over here, but you're going to end up over here.
So despite the order of 350, right now the
Oh my
bow is
God.
still only pointing at 327. Not nearly enough to miss the rock. And oh no,
my God.
it's about to get worse. That language barrier again. In these critical moments where every second counts, the
Oh my
helmsman
God.
wrongly
Are they gonna
relays
flip the ship?
340. The captain snaps back, 350 starboard or we end up on the rocks. The third officer goes to assist the helmsman.
Oh my God.
Now, don't get confused by the orders from here. We're changing over to rudder instructions. The captain yells, starboard 10, starboard 20, and still it's not
Okay.
enough. Hard to starboard. That means as hard as it'll go. But at this point, even if they clear these rocks, they need to get the rest of the ship to swing around it. So the captain yells,
Yeah,
midship, which centers the rudder. The bow is now less than 150 meters from Skull Rock.
Oh my
10.
God.
But the helmsman only gets to port 5 before another order is given 2 seconds later. Port 20! They might just avoid disaster here, maybe.
Oh my
But
God.
then, oh no. One more time, the helmsman cocks up at the worst possible moment. The helmsman goes to starboard instead of port, undoing the swing. 8
Oh
seconds
my
later,
God.
He realizes the error and corrects, but it's too late. He has just turned a probable near miss into a sure hit. All they can do now is hold on as the bow of the ship narrowly passes by the rocks. Hard to port!
Oh
The
my
second officer
God.
yells, "We're gonna hit!" Collision.
Wow. I just, oh my God. Poor everyone who didn't know what was going on because no one knows how to communicate in this goddamn ship. All of the Sims faces are taking me out, Luke.
Downtown, Nordtown. It's day 56 of playing Russian roulette. Seems I
I see.
never win.
Gonna drink all by yourself?
Somebody has to.
I hear you're a man who's good at finding folks.
I'm many things.
I'm looking for this fella. I gots to find him. It's breaking my little heart.
I'll see what I can do. I have contacts in thousands of servers in dozens of countries across the globe. And just like that, she was gone. The only thing she left was a calling card. Sometimes when you follow a case, it follows you back. NordVPN can protect my online data. But who can protect me from myself? When they said this job gets easier, it was just another lie. Forensics found his password spread all the way down the block. In a perfect world, we'd all use NordVPN. But I guess this isn't that kind of story. I took the brakes off my car. Man like me never really learned how to stop.
Shut the fuck up.
The
I took
breaking
the steering wheel out
character.
too. I let the road take me where I'm supposed to be.
The laugh.
That's right, Toots. Your husband's dead. Merry Christmas. Go to nordvpn.com/internethistorian for a huge discount on a 2-year plan.
I feel like I should know that reference, and I don't.
Add over. The ship hits rocks on the port side.
Oh,
A 53-meter gash opens up in the
video
hull,
from the
and
movie.
thousands of tons of water begin pouring in.
Yeah. Oh my
A
God.
loud
So
scraping
So in the Titanic tour that we did, there was actually like a separate section where they had part of the place set up as the actual ship that you could walk through. Let me tell you, that was trippy. That was really trippy, but it was so cool. Oh my God. I'm such a museums person. It's just I love museums and like art like just yes. But they had one section of it where it was literally like a timed thing where it was built to be kind of like the boiler room, like what they were showing there and stuff like that, where they had it filling and they had a screen that just like was slowly filling with water and like it just slowly got faster and like the lights would get like slightly muted and the sound would get muted as the water was right. Like it was crazy. It was great. I loved it. Oof. All right.
And bang is heard by all passengers. At the helm is panic. Rumblings in the
Oh my
dining room.
God, can you imagine
Martin
all the
awkwardly
people that
pauses
like
his act as he's helping his assistant into the box. Meanwhile,
Good.
the lady inside
Let me
is
out, let
trapped
me
and
out.
terrified. There's confusion across the ship.
Oh
All
my
of the
God,
crew off
I
ship
can't even
come back on
imagine.
duty. All
Oh
officers
shit.
run to the bridge. Technical crews
Oh
run
my
down
God,
to the
that
lower
poor
decks
woman.
to assess damage.
All the
On
Titanic
connection with the
footage.
rocks, they lose propulsion and slow to 8.3 knots, and they are now adrift. Close the watertight
Oh
doors
my
at
God.
stern. Enormous volumes of water are pouring in. So much so that within 29 seconds of collision,
Yeah, like
all
this.
6 engines
Yeah.
stop working through flooding. 22 seconds
Yeah, it was
later, a
literally
blackout
crazy how
happens.
fast it was filling up. Yes,
Lights,
and the lights would
electrics,
go
water
off and stuff
pumps
like
too.
that.
Everything.
It was
The
so
captain orders
crazy.
the helmsman hard starboard. This is the final position of the rudder before power to that, too,
What the hell?
is
She being
lost.
stuck in the propeller.
The Costa Concordia, now without power, is drifting starboard, plunged into absolute darkness. A quick
Oh yeah,
breakdown
because
of
it's
the flooding.
nighttime.
When the
Oh
Concordia
yeah.
struck land, it tore open 3 watertight compartments.
Oh my God.
At first, compartment 5, which filled very rapidly. Then 6 more slowly, 4 shortly after. Then 7, 8, and 3. Modern ships are built to withstand 2 compartment breaches. These compartments especially, though, are a problem because they contain the engines
They have the
and the
engines?
electrics.
Yeah.
These main generators give power to the whole ship. From propulsion motors to rudder to hotel functions, pretty much everything. When they went out, the ship was a functionless, sinking cage. A few seconds later, the emergency
Oh my
batteries for
God.
internal lighting and communications kick on. When the lights come back on, Martin has vanished. He's ditched the stage. And it caused a
No.
huge panic in the theatre, as passengers are trying to flee to their cabins and to muster stations. People already in their
Oh my
cabins
God.
come out and start putting on life vests. Staff
Oh,
rally
they're
and
all
try to calm
tilting.
everyone down.
Oh my God, they're
Everything is
tilting.
fine.
Holy
There's
crap.
no need for vests. Please return to your cabins.
The emergency generator
They
starts.
kind of did that. So also with the Titanic thing, they did have another thing where it was like you went down a hallway and like that one was filling up too and like I have pictures and everything like that, but like it like the water was filling up and the screen was meant to look like a mirror and stuff like that so that you could so it was like you were filling up with water too. Oh, it was so good. And then they also had there was a portion of it where they had it where you could put on like the VR headsets. And it actually went through a section where like the ship was like tilting and like all the cabinets were falling and but you were like really small and stuff, so like you were kind of like just watching it. Um that was that portion was an experience. I would do it all again for that. Anyways, back to the thingy, sorry.
All of the watertight doors close except for door 12, which is jammed. The captain calls Pilon, the chief engineer,
Lord.
as the ship begins to list on the port side. Is water
Yeah.
coming in? Yes, there's water. But where? The engine room. But a lot of water?
Duh.
Yes!
What?
There's water. You can't go down. Let's go down the other side.
Bruh.
In a moment we'll start the pumps, I'll let you know. In the theatre, the whole magic box apparatus slides right off the stage and falls into the crowd, further increasing panic. On the
Oh
bridge,
my
an
God.
announcement is being prepared. They are going to lie to prevent a panic. Let's just say we have a blackout.
They're
The deputy
already
chief
panicking.
engineer
What do you
enters the
mean?
engine control room. He confirms to the bridge that at least compartments 5, 6, and 7 are flooded. Announcements are made.
behalf of the captain, to inform you that due to an electrical fault, which is currently under control, we're currently in a blackout. Our technicians are working to resolve the situation, and we'll inform you.
Yeah, because nobody felt them hit the rock.
Thank you for your attention.
What are they gonna assume? That something exploded?
They're playing My Heart Will Go On, and it's very much not helping the situation. The captain calls the crisis unit, Roberto Ferrarini. He tells the crisis unit that they've hit a rock, that they're assessing damages, and that they are also in a blackout. The crisis office says to reverse the ship up onto shore. Well, how are you going to do that? You don't have power to the
reverse
rudder,
the
let
ship?
alone the engine. You know, hoist the sails? Anyway, around this time, the wind direction creates a starboard list, and the ship begins to turn anyway, drifting right back towards the shore, which is a very good thing because you want the ship to end up as close to shore as possible.
Oh,
A
okay.
panicked passenger senses that something is off. This isn't like any electrical problem that she's ever seen. Plus, there was a massive crashing noise, and now the ship is tilting. So, she contacts her daughter in Italy. The
My
daughter
point
then
exactly
calls
from
the
like
police,
2 seconds
and
ago.
the police call the harbour master. While that goes on, a conversation between Pilon and Ambrosio. The diesel is not starting. The captain asks the engine room, but where have we made contact? Thinking that the incoming water can be reduced. Captain, here everything is lost. The electrical panel, everything.
Like, my
They're
dude,
saying
what
at
are
this
you
point
not getting
that the
through
ship
your
is
head?
going
The ship
down.
is sinking,
The captain
my
calls
dude.
Roberto Ferrarini again. Actually, 2 compartments have been flooded, but don't worry, the ship's stability isn't in danger. Wrong.
Why?
Passengers begin
Why would
going
you
to
lie to
muster
the person
stations of
helping
initiative.
you?
The cruise
Oh my
director
god,
says,
you
"We have a lot of
fucking
people at
moron!
muster
Why
stations
would
that
you
I
lie
do
to the
not
person
want to
trying to
fall
help?
overboard. Do we make an announcement to tell them to go to the lounges?" Bozio says, "I think that's best." The harbour master from Livorno calls the ship. The captain tells them
my
that
God.
we just have a blackout. How long has this blackout been going on? About 20 minutes. Have you asked passengers to put on life vests? It's just a blackout.
Why would
I
you
gotta go.
lie?
The harbour
Oh my god,
master
stop
is suspicious.
lying.
He says to
Yeah,
his
you
superiors
think?
that he thinks
Good.
something more is going on. He calls a patrol boat to the area and asks them to look at the ship. Another problem. The fan on the emergency diesel generator isn't working properly. Pilon manually has to turn the thing on and off with a screwdriver so that it doesn't overheat and cause a fire. The captain is on the phone to the lower decks,
Are you
asking
kidding me?
pointless
They have this
questions,
man
like,
manually-
Is it still flooded? Yes. Yes, it is. The captain is essentially in denial of the situation. The harbour master calls again. Finally,
This
he
captain
says,
is gonna
"The
piss
ship
me
is
off.
taking on
Actually,
board
he
a
has
opening
pissed
on
me
the left
off. But
side,
oh
and
my
the ship
fucking
is
god.
He qualifies with, "No one dead or injured." The harbour master asks if he needs help. "Just a tugboat?" When in reality, they need a full rescue. With 3 compartments flooded, the captain finally realizes that things
This man
are
is
really
really
bad,
pissing
and
me
they are
off. I'm not
going
gonna
to
lie.
improve.
Like,
The Coast Guard
how
orders every
stupid
available
can you
ship to the
be?
sea.
Oh
Meanwhile,
my
up
god.
with the passengers, the cruise director's assistant says, everything's under control. Please return to your cabins or hang about in the lounges. No problem. She said this despite knowing
the
it
boat
was
is
wrong
tilting.
and that it further endangered lives. Most passengers at this point, though, aren't listening to this nonsense, and they're busy figuring
yeah,
out
because they
how
have
to abandon
better
ship.
common sense.
Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, because they can
Local
tell the ship is
television
sinking.
has already picked up
Guys,
the story, and they begin
like,
broadcasting live radio feeds.
It's literally
from the bridge.
sinking. What?
Captain, the passengers are going on board the boats. Okay, let them go to shore. So then general emergency? Wait, let me talk to Ferrarini. We risk the emergency generators that do not have cooling. It has cooling problems, 100 degrees. The cooling fan has stopped. Pilon calls the bridge and tells the safety officer they need to evacuate. The safety officer relays this to the captain.
Y'all should have
but after
done
no
this.
response, he orders the engine room to evacuate on his own. The captain says, "No, stay. We're leaving." So what do? General emergency? The captain tells Ferrarini that he's abandoning ship. Abandoned ship. Another announcement is made.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. The situation is under control. Please remain calm. But at this time, proceed
okay.
to your muster station. They're located outside on deck 4.
The Livorno Coast Guard calls again. The captain declares distress. The Coast Guard officially calls for rescue operations. They contact Pietro Mille,
This
the helicopter
kills me.
base commander, who then calls in every available pilot as he rushes down to the helicopter base. Pilon shuts down the emergency
can't.
generator for the final time. The first rescue vessel arrives. By this point,
Oh,
the
thank
lifeboats
God.
are already going. Luckily, the ship is very close to shore. Oh, Perhaps too close to shore, the ship forcefully runs aground, creating an uneven center of gravity. And it begins heavily listing starboard. The captain issues a general emergency on board. The announcement to abandon ship is finally called and alarms ring out. And with that...
It wasn't already called? I thought we did that 5 minutes
and now that
ago!
they're listing, with many of the lifeboats too awkwardly positioned to enter the water,
Oh my god!
there aren't enough readily available, and they have to start going back and forth to the shore, picking people up and dropping them off. The patrol boats report to the Livorno harbour master that the ship has run aground and is listing heavily. So the harbour master asks the captain about it, and the captain says, no, the ship is still floating. In fact, we're trying to maneuver it onto
lying!
the shore. They know.
I'm gonna have an aneurysm because of this man. I swear to God. I'm gonna have an aneurysm. You guys can't see because I don't have hand tracking, but I'm rubbing my goddamn temples. This man is going to give me an aneurysm. Oh my God. I want to physically smack him. Ah!
He's lying.
Hold on, I'm reversing it. Beep, 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 beep.
The captain then says to bottom out the starboard anchor. So they drop out the anchors, but let out too much chain, effectively rendering them useless. The deputy mayor of Giglio, Mario Pellegrini, and tobacco shop owner Giovanni Rossi arrive at the harbour. They watch the scene unfold. As the first of the lifeboats arrive on shore, the deputy mayor takes the initiative and races to board one of the lifeboats, returning to the ship, and starts trying to find someone in charge. He gives up and starts helping passengers.
Oh wow.
Scatino tells everyone to leave and take radios, but not before changing out of his uniform and into a nice suit. Priorities. What? Dimitri Christidis and Silvia Coronica leave with him. The maitre d' and
This man was like, I know I'm getting arrested, so I gotta look good while I'm getting arrested. Oh my... I can't.
And both get out of there. By this point, approximately 300 people are still on the ship. Millet reaches
Oh my god, it's like
base.
Halfway in the water.
The first helicopter, a slow-moving Augusta Bell, was already rising from the tarmac for the hour-long flight south. Bozio is the last crew member left on the bridge, coordinating evacuation. He then leaves to help passengers board lifeboats. The bridge is now abandoned. And then, the ship's black box stops working. Apparently there were technical problems with it. That means, from here, things are going to get a little foggy in detail. A while later, rescue helicopters arrive, but they're struggling to find the ship because they're expecting it to still be well above water. Passengers are scaling down the port side by ladder as lifeboats return to pick them up.
This is literally... It's crazy that it's sinking in, like, the opposite way that the Titanic did, too. Like, how the Titanic broke in half, like, you know... Which way is that? Hamburger or hot dog? Yes. I can't remember. Whatever.
You're not allowed to make a film movie.
I'm allowed.
Who say you are?
A second helicopter, a faster model, sets off. The ship stops healing and comes to a final resting place. Now the Coast Guard calls the captain.
Yeah, because it's just
he's
sitting in the ground.
That the captain has abandoned ship. The captain claims, no, actually I slipped and I fell into one of the lifeboats. Ooh, I'm a klutz. But now that I'm on board, I may as well head back to shore.
Not the Chef
DeFalco tells the captain to get the fuck back on board. And the captain kind of acts confused and then effectively refuses. So the captain makes it to shore. From here, we only have mainstream news reports to rely on, so it's not going to be super accurate. But they say that Giglio's police chief then finds 110 survivors on the rocks at Point Gabbianara, and among them is the captain. It's not known whether the captain helped anyone while he was there, and in fact, the police chief claimed that he just sat on the rocks and watched other people do the rescue.
I don't know what you guys expected him to do.
A while
he hasn't
later,
done like
a rescue
anything
boat
good
picks
this
up the
entire
captain
time.
and takes him to the harbour. He speaks to the police. He then finds the ship's onboard
gets arrested.
chaplain, Father Rafael Molina, and cries to him
Do
for
not
about
go to
15
confession.
minutes. Then he
No,
goes
sir.
to the harbour master's
No,
office
sir.
to receive probably the biggest dressing down of his entire life. Port authorities ask the taxi driver to take the captain back to his hotel. The captain takes the 30-second cab ride to the Bahamas hotel. According to the cabbie, he was beaten like a dog. He was cold and afraid. He only asked me where he could buy a pair of fresh socks. But then he perked right up again and gave an interview to a news crew. He told them that he was the last to leave.
The captain is usually the last to abandon ship. What happened, Captain?
We were the last to leave the ship.
All day Saturday, rescuers search for people on the ship. On Sunday morning, a South
He
Korean
just
couple was
continues to
found in
lie.
their cabin, safe but shivering. They had slept through the crash and woke up unable to exit their cabin. The
Oh
last
my
survivor,
god!
Manrico Giampandroni, was found with a broken.
Oh my god! They were just trapped in their room? Underwater? I mean, I'm so happy they survived, but oh my god, that's terrifying. I'm so glad they were asleep. My god. I want whatever they were taking. Like, I got insomnia. Give me some of that, please.
Leg. He was the cabin's service director. In the end, 32 people died. The final body wasn't discovered until nearly 3 years later. A crew member, Russell Rebello, and it's believed that he died a hero helping passengers off the ship. The Costa Concordia was the largest cruise ship disaster since the Titanic. And then there's the ship. This is what happens to a 110,000-ton cruise liner when it's left half rolled over in the ocean.
Oh. Oh. They had you know, at the Titanic tour that we did, they had like furniture and like glasses and like all the different stuff from like whatever they could recover, and then whatever they couldn't recover, um what they couldn't recover, they took like copies or like stuff like that, like identical copies from the sister ship, because the Titanic had a twin sister ship. And fun fact for all of you that don't know, this is something I learned on the tour. All of the pictures that we see of that like grand staircase from the Titanic and everything like that are from the sister ship. No pictures of the actual staircase on the Titanic were taken before it crashed. So all the pictures that we see are from the twin sister ship. I can't remember the name. I'm horrible with names. Sorry, but yeah, that just fun fact there. Wow. Oh wow, the difference in color too. So the VR thing was kind of like that. You, for a portion of it, you went through the wreckage of the Titanic, like kind of underwater,
But
and then it
isn't
turned
the
itself
end.
into the actual
It's
thing.
just the halfway point. What
But,
most people know
yeah, I
is
was
that
wondering,
the
we
Costa
have, like,
Concordia had crashed,
20 minutes left
many
of this
dead,
video.
and that the captain abandoned ship like a coward. But there's a whole veritable spaghetti of details to untangle. Let's dive in.
Oh.
There
Oh
they
no.
are.
Why? Not with the hands.
The deets.
Oh my god. No. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
The Costa Concordia was more than just a floating resort. There's a mall, a casino, cha-ching, cha-ching. This iron chest was full of safes and cash registers and expensive fittings. And there were plenty of gamers prepared to sneak by authorities and try their luck in the hot zone.
Oh.
Within days, police divers reported that valuable items, once seen lying around the ship, were now missing. High-end liquor, expensive furniture, dining sets, cash from the casino, cash registers, jewelry and display cabinets, safes,
Not
Japanese
the bleed
woodblock prints by famous 18th century artists, as well as the iconic bell, which hung from the bridge of the ship. It was never found.
Oh, well.
Who steals
Someone's
a
just
big
got that.
fuck-off
Someone
bell?
just.
Even the server admins were
Someone
getting
just has
involved.
that fucking bell
Four
sitting in
divers
their
who were
living
part of
room
the
or their
company
basement
contracted
somewhere.
to refloat the Concordia were spotted on CCTV, sneaking out to
Oh.
the ship. A patrol boat was dispatched,
That was from.
and the men were
That
brought
footage was
inside
from
the
Lake
fancy
Placid, I
suites
think.
with rucksacks full of stolen goods. The 4 men are charged with stealing and thieving and pinching.
Yeah.
Later on, stolen as well as legitimate items found their way to Amazon and eBay. Chips from the casino, postcards, and cabin access cards became highly sought after souvenirs.
It even has a watermark.
Some Australian guy even made a listing for the ship itself, advertising it as buyer to collect. And although
What?
there were plenty of bidders, eBay pulled the plug.
That's so funny. That's so funny. Not them trying to sell an abandoned ship on eBay. And the 57 people that actually bid on it.
I know you want to see Scatino go to jail, and we'll get to that. But first, we have to talk about someone else. Dominika Samorton.
That was a close one.
There was speculation that she was on the bridge that evening because she was the captain's mistress.
Intense media speculation reports that her presence distracted the captain.
They both denied their love for years and maintained that they were just friends. Although she did later admit to the media that she found him handsome. And how could you not?
Oh, good lord.
You so fucking precious when you smile.
But she says there was no romantic link between them.
Some people would like to believe, they want to know I have something with him. It's more interesting. It's like, you know, some spicy in the story.
Miss Samorton also loved the spotlight, however.
He simultaneously looks 12 and 30.
And took several interviews. But as the pressure mounted upon her, she began making ominous threats to Scatino, saying he must confess, and that you have but 1 week to come clean. But things from here get weird.
Spicy.
Samorton is a bit of a wild card. In a subsequent interview, she claimed a helicopter came to the ship well before the other rescue craft to take away a package. Huh? And what was that package? Drugs, apparently.
What?
So rumors began that the ship was running narcotics for the mafia. And not without cause. A number of cruise ships, even recently, have been caught trafficking drugs. As an aside, Scatino was tested for drugs immediately after the crash. He tested negative for drugs in his system, but trace amounts of cocaine were found in a hair sample.
Makes it smoother and less dry.
Nonetheless, the Concordia was searched and no drugs were reportedly ever found.
Yeah, because all the looters got him beforehand.
Samorton commented on it again the next day and said, actually, that helicopter was just for the captain as a means of evacuation from the ship. Okay, wait.
They came
So
first
she expected
before
to get
everyone?
some sort of first-class rescue while everyone else was still stuck on the ship.
Yeah, like,
wait, how did we get here? Oh, right, sex with the captain. Divers were quick to head to the captain's cabin, where they found Miss Samorton's lingerie and other articles of clothing, as well as a makeup bag. The jig was up, but they continued denying it. Samorton mostly faded from international attention until she was told to appear before the court to present witness testimony. The judge pressed her to be truthful about their relationship, or she would be held in contempt.
Either tell me the truth or shut up.
So finally, she admitted it.
Yes, I had a sentimental relationship with the captain.
Stop.
But now, stop asking about my private life.
She was indeed the captain's lover.
What?
She said, I'm tired of it. Stop. Yes, we did stop.
Oh my god!
She and Scatino had been having an affair for several weeks. She also said that on the night she boarded, she didn't have a ticket.
Ticket, please.
And didn't need to pay because nobody questions you when you're the captain's lover. Naturally, she gave another confusing interview after leaving court.
I want to say that today is the second time I die because the first time I died in the night of the crash with my psychological brain and problems. And today I died the second time because, of course, people find out something that I try to hide.
Subsequent to the trial, she used her fame
I
in
feel
Moldova
like she just means die
to
of
become a
embarrassment.
political activist,
And, like,
often appearing
the
on
first one, not
television
so
and
much,
radio
but
and
still.
in articles covering protests, accompanied by pictures of her being arrested by police.
What is she protesting?
It was some stuff about victims of violence, women's rights,
Girl power.
yada yada yada. And interestingly,
okay.
part of a push to block the sale of shares of Moldova's train network to Russia. Sure. Other than that, I don't really know what she's been up to. Let me just check on her Inst. Oh God, not again.
Is that a ship? That's a pilot! No! Oh yeah, the lawsuits
were quickly lodged against Costa.
Okay, so here's the thing. I keep hearing that, like, with cruises and stuff like that, like, with what you, like, printed on the ticket, it's, like, ridiculously hard to sue a cruise line. I have heard this because it's, like, stuff all in, like, the fine print and everything like that, which is why cruises keep getting away with it, is because there's, like, so many technicalities and shit like that. Yeah, anyways, back to the video.
Concordia. And their parent company, Carnival Cruises, immediately saw a share drop of 23%.
Whoa! Yeah.
Passengers sought compensation for their damaged mental health,
the
lost
Carnival
belongings,
Cruise
and
director?
loved ones.
Either they
owner,
allowed him
whatever.
to divert from his course, or they didn't know where their billion-dollar ship was.
Within a few days, facing financial and media pressure, the CEO attempted to join the bandwagon against the captain and the crew.
That was not the ordinary route that the ship was taking.
You hired him!
And was not only taking, but at the time...
You hired him!
Claiming that the ship was not approved to deviate from the route. But that wasn't true. Approval isn't required if the ship is deviating by less than 15 miles, or that it was against company rules. Also untrue, because investigators found that they didn't have any rules about deviating routes, and they tacitly encouraged sail-by salutes. Now, in response to the civil suit,
that's just
Costa
dumb.
Crociere offered passengers 11,000 euros each as compensation.
That's kind of small.
11,000 euros, about $14,000.
Yeah,
is the
considering
minimum
the ship costs like
compensation under
600 million to
international law
make.
when a ship is abandoned.
This was to reimburse them for their tickets, as well as any costs
the
they
minimum?
accrued in having to unexpectedly travel home early.
And that was supposed to release them from everything and anything that has to do with this accident. I cannot ask for more than this.
A lot of passengers, understandably, were not too happy with this deal, and they refused
Yeah,
to
you
take the
think?
money.
We think the offer is an insult. For what these poor passengers went through, we think that the compensation being offered is not commensurate.
My dude, people died. Like,
Compensation being offered is not commensurate.
Later, Costa Crociere
People
would lodge a
died.
plea deal with the Tuscany court to pay a €1 million fine to avoid a criminal trial. The judge agrees. Costa Crociere is now off the hook for all criminal liability for the whole thing. They've washed their hands of the incident and flecked the residual droplets
Excuse
of responsibility onto the faces of 6 staff members. Passengers and relatives of the dead are livid that the company has been able to avoid criminal responsibility.
Yes!
Civil suits against the company continue. By the way, the residents of the island of Giglio also banded together and sought damages. They didn't get much. Eventually, passengers who refused the initial compensation of 11,000 joined civil parties against Schettino in his trial in 2015.
Is not commensurate.
They were awarded 30,000 euros each. Other cases, especially those involving lost relatives, are settled for undisclosed amounts.
oh, well. That's fair. They can keep that to themselves, keep it private. Oh,
New
no.
York attorney Peter
What?
Renee traveled to Budapest to represent 6 real survivors of the disaster.
At Ronay & Ronay, we personally work on every case.
And we'll work harder than anyone to get you the most money possible in the shortest amount of time.
And while on the job, a 7th case cropped up via
An
email.
actual commercial?
An elderly woman, Alona,
mail.
said,
Help me, Mr. Ronai, for I have lost my daughter, Eva, and my 5-year-old granddaughter, Roxana.
so Mr. Renai
Oh,
agreed to speak with
no.
her. However, there were some inconsistencies in her story. Neither Eva nor Roxana were on the passenger list. Odd, but Costa is known for having stowaways.
Gotcha, bitch.
Still, Mr. Renai was suspicious. They wouldn't cheaty old Petey, would they? Renai inquired further about why she was on board, especially without a ticket. Ilona said,
Well, I don't know, but you should ask her boyfriend.
Zolt Horvath.
He'll know all the details.
I'm up all night. I'm going crazy, he said. But Mr. Renai was still suspicious. Because then she asked, how much money do you think this is worth? This is a huge red flag, Petey. In 20 years of doing this, you've never had anyone ask about money. Why now? So Mr. Renai hired an investigator and sent photos around of the missing girl. The next day, the phone rang. Oh, hoi, hoi.
Is it
was
the
the
missing
boyfriend
girl?
again. Look,
Oh!
There's been a bit of a misunderstanding, and the child isn't missing at all. And then he claimed he was confused because he had done too many drugs the night before. Oh. Okay, can I speak to the daughter then? At first, he was refused. So Renee said that he'd have to file a missing persons report to the police if he couldn't. The boyfriend relented. That night, Renee met with Zolt and brought the police with him. He speaks to the granddaughter and asks her if she's seen Mum. Yeah, I saw her today. Oh, really? Yeah, we went to the park today and we went on the swings. Oh no, the jig was up. So the mum walks into the room sheepishly. It's a miracle. And the story changed again. Okay, I'm not dead, but I did injure my leg when I jumped from the ship. And then I immediately flew back to Budapest. Although don't worry about checking my leg because there are no visible marks or injuries. Oh, Petey, I'm beginning to
God, why
think
does that
they
face
weren't
look
even
so
on the
familiar?
boat.
It's killing me.
Also, it turns out this lady isn't her mum, it's just a neighbor. Eventually, Renee managed to make the pair confess. And then they said, hey, we haven't done anything wrong. We haven't taken any money. And in the end, it looks like there'll be no criminal punishment for the scam, because Hungary, a former communist country, has no laws against insurance fraud on the books.
The one that never sleeps, call 1-800-6647.
Oh!
That's a bad idea. That's a very bad idea.
Oh my god! I don't think I've ever seen that GIF or video.
Mario, would you teach me some Italian?
Oh, of course! Means get back on board for fuck's sake.
Okay, thanks.
Gregorio De Falco, the naval officer who shouted at Schettino to Vada a bordo caso, became a bit of a national hero overnight in Italy. He, like the rest of the world,
Gee, I wonder why.
expected Schettino to go down with the ship. And when the captain chickened out, De Falco was there to admonish him. And when he stopped answering the radio, he called him on his cell phone to continue putting him on blast. When the captain first reported just a blackout, De Falco didn't believe the story and immediately began preparing a rescue effort, which likely saved several lives. His actions were applauded by most Italians who were tired of their public servants being corrupt and avoiding responsibility.
Ooh.
Accordingly, shirts sporting Vada a bordo caso were being printed by the end of the week, others setting it as their phone's ringtone. But then, in September 2014,
hey, that sounded good.
Warning,
let me hear it.
De Falco was transferred to an admin role in the Coast Guard.
Hear what I said? You've been demoted.
De Falco said that he had been passed up for promotion, that he had also not been told which admin office he was even being transferred to, and that it all effectively cancelled 10 years of his career. De Falco was tres furioso, and there was public speculation
as
that
he
it was
should
owing
be,
to bad
I
blood
feel.
between himself and Admiral Delano, his former boss. His status among the public overshadowed his superior in many ways. On the other hand, his boss said,
seriously?
No, it's part of a normal career progression for naval officers and that he must show more maturity and professionalism to advance his career. Now, it's hard to know what's true in office politics, so let's leave that alone. And anyway, in 2018, De Falco said Buenos noches, ya later, to the Italian Navy to become a politician. In March that year, he was elected to the Italian Senate, serving as a member for Livorno. He still serves there today.
Oh, wow. He's the captain now. Whoa, hi, Goosebumps. Do.
The day after the disaster, Schettino was taken into custody by police.
Jail time! Yes!
It was clear that this would not be a straightforward investigation. So the judge released him under house arrest at his home in Sorrento, a town in Napoli.
Interesting.
By July of that
That's
year,
so
the house
pretty,
arrest
though.
was relaxed
Oh my God,
and he
that was
allowed within
beautiful.
this general area. While under house arrest, he wrote a book.
House
with
arrest,
this
but for half the
journalist
country.
From Rai magazine. I have no idea what it says. I don't speak Italian. But goddammit, he must have some kind of charisma going on, because there's been a lot of speculation in the press that he had an affair with her as well.
You can't keep getting away with it.
Why?
Not content with abandoning his ship, this dude is determined to abandon his wife as well. So, Schettino and 5 others are facing criminal charges. Straight away, everyone lodges a plea bargain with the court. And all of those plea bargains are accepted, except for Schettino's. And the condition of everyone's
My dude
reduced
is giving
sentences
me, like,
are that they
human
must
version of
provide
Gru from
witness
Despicable
testimony
Me.
against
But, like,
Schettino.
he
That's
touched me.
kind of an insult to
Ciro,
Gru.
Jacob, and Sylvia were all given suspended sentences. Roberto and Manrico are able to opt for community service or house arrest. Not a bad deal.
Okay.
Good deal. Good deal.
And that meant that Scatino
Oh, hey,
was
that dude.
now all on his own. Ciro,
Oh, shit.
the first officer, was the first to give his testimony. On the witness stand,
It just
he
kills me
claimed
that the
Scatino
company who
was
hired
distracted
him
by his mistress
got off that
and
easy.
other guests on the bridge. That there was confusion over who was in command. Then it was Jacob's turn. And he said, Lamau XD, because he didn't actually bother with his testimony or his reduced sentence. He just fled the country. It took authorities 12 months to eventually track him down on the outskirts of Jakarta. And when they said, "Oi, we still want that witness testimony," he just stopped again. And he hasn't been found since. After that, Ferrarini gave his testimony, then
Oh my god!
We don't have time to relitigate the whole trial, so let's just go straight to the verdict. Guilty! Scatino was found guilty of multiple manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, abandoning ship, and lying to authorities. He is sentenced to 16 years
He infected
and
all
1
of those
month
things.
in prison. But wait, there's still the appeals.
There's more!
The appeals trial begins. And the verdict on the appeal? Surprise! Rejected. So Scatino's lawyers appealed again. And the verdict on the final appeal?
Oh my god.
Scatino made multiple attempts to secure a plea deal but was denied by the prosecution each time. The prosecution called for Scatino to be sentenced to 26 years in prison, calling the incident a Titanic affair.
Oh, okay, I see what you did there.
Scatino was not.
Oh no.
His lawyers stated that he was waiting outside of the jail for the ruling, so that if his plea was rejected, he could immediately start serving his sentence. And with that, 5 years and 4 months after the disaster, he was finally
Another.
in cell.
5 years, Jesus.
The salvage operation was enormous. It took over 2 years and cost an estimated $1.2 billion. Beginning in early 2012, they first
Holy
spent
crap.
2 months pumping fuel from the ship's tanks. At the same time, they had to pump seawater in so that the balance wasn't affected and the ship didn't slide around. In early 2013, a platform was built under the ship to prevent it from falling further. Sponsons were then attached to the sides of the ship and cables attached to the underwater platform. The sponsons were then dragged underwater and opened up to allow the ocean to fill them. The ship could then roll over properly.
Wow.
By late 2013, the ship was upright once more.
Holy crap. Okay, the time lapse is
The
really
sponsons
cool.
were then attached to the side of the ship to help keep it balanced. It now rested partially above water and crews could walk around safely. By July 2014, the water was removed from the sponsons and compressed air was pumped in to lift the ship. And she was ready to cruise again. This time to a port in Genoa. It was a 4-day towing journey to the docks where a 2-year process of dismantling and recycling would begin.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like,
That same
I don't
weekend
think they
of the
can use
towing,
anything.
Scatino was busy. He was the guest of honor at a white party on an island in the Bay of Naples. He appeared on the front page of a local newspaper, flanked by 2 of Italy's most eligible bachelorettes.
What?
Anyway, so these are the things that I remember from the Costa Concordia. That sweet maiden of the sea. And as for you,
the
little
bell.
fella,
You're coming home with me.
well, it's time to return you
No.
from whence you came.
Oh, my heart will go on. I'm dead.
6 quick things. 1. NordVPN, good product, check them out. Number 2, there's a new video on the second channel. You probably didn't see it because it was temporarily restricted. Now it's not. Enjoy.
I didn't make as many I tried to not make as many comparisons as I possibly could. To the tour that I was doing. But oh my, yeah, just I can't, like, the amount of stupid. The amount of literal stupid all on that ship. I can't. we made all these restrictions and like stuff because of the Titanic, and then he just went and ignored all of it. Well, anyways, that is it for this video, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and put my projector away here, but that's it for this video. If you subscribe if you like the vibe. Leave any likes, comments, whatnot. It's all very appreciated. Check out my Patreon. We'll have versions of the shows and everything that I watch. Those will be on there. But otherwise, I will see you guys in the next random internet video.